This is a Reuters live broadcast from Khan Yunis at 10:07 a.m. on Monday, August 25th. Smoke billows on the horizon. It's a scene Reuters journalist Hussam al-Masri had captured before from the eastern stairwell of Gaza's Nasser hospital. But at 10:08 a.m., his recording froze. Israeli troops had shelled the hospital. Among the dead was Masri. 9 minutes later, as journalists gathered to document the aftermath, and as rescue workers tried to help the wounded, the Israeli Defense Forces hit the stairwell again. The attack consisted of at least 4 munitions and hit 2 stairwells at the hospital. It killed 22 people, including 5 journalists. Their deaths join about 200 killings of journalists by Israel during the war. None have been fully explained by the Israeli military, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. To create the most complete account to date of how this attack unfolded, Reuters reviewed more than 100 videos and photos from the scene, consulted munitions experts, and interviewed more than 24 people. Israeli forces planned the attack using drone footage, which the military said showed a Hamas camera that was the target of the strike. But our investigation establishes that the camera actually belonged to the news agency and had long been used by one of its own journalists. The eastern stairwell of Nasser Hospital was a popular spot for journalists to gather. The raised landing gave better visibility, electricity access, and a stronger internet connection, a Reuters photographer who worked there said. Masri captured at least 35 live broadcasts from the hospital stairwell since May. He shot this footage of Israeli diggers excavating a demolished area about 1.5 miles from the hospital, just days before the attack. A day after the strike, the IDF's initial review said troops had targeted a Hamas camera filming its soldiers from the hospital. An Israeli military official told Reuters the troops had been suspicious of the camera because it was covered by a, quote, towel, and determined it was operated by Hamas. The group has used cameras to document its attacks on Israeli soldiers, a Hamas official said. A decision was made to destroy the camera. This screenshot from IDF drone footage captured days before the attack shows the camera that the Israeli military official said was the target. Earlier in August, Associated Press journalist Mariam Dagga captured Masri standing on the stairwell beside his unique setup, a large camera on a tripod covered with a green and white prayer rug to protect the equipment from heat and dust. No one else in the last few months was using equipment like this, nor protecting it in the same way, according to witnesses. Other journalists recorded on their phones, witnesses said, as Dagga can be seen doing here more than a week before the attack. The military official said troops saw another towel covering the head of a person nearby, which added to suspicion over the camera and its location. The person in question appears to wear the same clothing as Dagga had in prior footage obtained by Reuters. She was also killed in the attack. Reuters was never told by Israel not to cover its camera with a towel or cloth. At 8:03 a.m. on the day of the attack, Masri started recording his broadcast feed to the news agency's global media clients. About 2 hours in, the first strikes hit. Nine minutes later, as first responders, medics, and journalists crowded the landing, at least 2 more Israeli tank rounds, seen here, struck the eastern stairwell again. Reuters cameraman Hussam was recording on the landing when the second round hit.
ما شاهدناهم في الدفاع المدني المسعفون مواطنون عاديون وصحفيون هم من كانوا على الدرج لانتشال الشهداء والإصابات على الدرج هذا في الضربة الأولى.
Khalid has hearing loss from the blast and will need surgery to remove shrapnel. In the days after the attack, Reuters obtained photos of metal fragments found at Nasser Hospital, taken by a doctor at the scene on August 25th. We asked 5 munitions experts to review footage of the attack and pictures of the fragments. They said they were from tail fins of Israeli-made 120mm tank rounds.
The tank rounds were a disproportionate munition for sure.
Wes Bryant is a former senior targeting advisor and policy analyst at the Pentagon.
Especially when you look at the initial target of a camera, and then what we presume is a secondary target of personnel against a camera at a hospital. These are penetrating, high explosive rounds. That's incredibly disproportionate. But the primary problem here is the targeting decisions in the first place, the vetting of this target.
A similar tank shell was used in an Israeli military attack in October 2023 that killed Reuters video journalist Hussam Abdullah in Lebanon.
He was just doing his job when he was killed.
Reuters still has not received an explanation for why Israel fired at a group of clearly identified journalists. The IDF says the case is still under examination.